What's up, everybody? WestRoadSal here with another review, right away from the last one, but this time we're not actually doing wrestling. I know the last 4 videos were wrestling, but this time we're going different. We're doing Just League International Volume 1, a review. Now, I know it didn't last for long. It only lasted 12 issues, so this is Volume 1. I probably will read Volume 2 when it comes out, and I will read it, because this was actually one of the better comics that I liked with the new DC reboot. So let's get started. The United Nations decides to form its own team, which each member from a different nation. They decide to take Booster Gold, who craves attention, Ice from the Scandinavian audience, Vixen from Zambeze, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, Fire from the Brazilian audience, Rocket Red from Russia, August General in Iron from China, Augustus, I think, Guy Gardner, it's hard not to refuse Green Lantern, Godiva from British countries or land, you get my point. Meanwhile, they're picking out the members. There's protests at the Hall of Justice, because it's being acquired for the JLI. But the people don't like it because it's a public building. So their first mission is basically seismic activity in Peru, because there's a bunch of scientists that went to Peru and they discovered this empty landscape, and while they were surveying the ground, this big hole opens up, and they basically just die because they fall through the hole. Well, that was cool. I'm getting distracted here. They basically fall through the hole, and it's like, what happened? So they go to investigate, and these little rock, goblins, made of rock, little constructs, little goblins, they come up out of the ground and they start to attack them. But they handle them quite easily. But then after those are gone, this big, huge metal robot comes out of the ground. And they try to fight this robot, but I think Fire gets really injured, so they have to go back to base. And at back at base, they discover that these big, humongous robots are popping up everywhere. 4 more in total. Russia, South Africa, Kanoa, and the one in Peru is still standing. So Rocket Red and Ice go to Russia, Fire and Vixen go to South Africa, and General Augustus and Godiva go to Kanoa, and believe it or not, Batman and Booster Gold go back to Peru. Now, obviously, you can tell Batman's on the cover, but I didn't say it in the beginning because he sort of comes in on his own. They sort of call him in on the side to observe the Justice League International, but I think he goes away after issue 6, if I'm not mistaken. So Batman finds out that the Giants are sending signals to an alien spaceship in space. Green Lantern, he's on the team, but the team doesn't know. The people who made this team, they actually told him separately. So he goes up into space to investigate the spaceship, and he gets knocked out by this really big alien, Praxis. He's the main villain for the first 6 issues. Here he is, in all of his crazy glory. See? Okay? And it's really getting bad for these guys. Guy Gardner sees that every Justice League International member, before he gets destroyed by Praxis, on Earth, is captured by these little goblin guys. I don't know how, because they didn't really explain all the teams. They did, but they didn't tell you how they actually got captured. You just know because Guy Gardner saw it. Now, Praxis teleports all the captured to a ship and says that he wants the minerals and ores on Earth. Everything else is a waste. He wants the minerals and ores. Godiva, while Praxis is explaining this, she gets Batman's laser tool from his from his utility belt with her hair. Her hair is a superpower, believe it or not. She can control her hair to grab things and such. So she uses that to cut them all out, and they go to rush Praxis, but gets beat up, and Praxis starts Earth's destruction, molecular breakdown, literally. Now, Justice League International, they rush. I think they rush off the ship because they don't know what to do. But Praxis sees them, but they actually hide behind their real ship, they actually hide behind their real ship. So they get back on board. They get back on board Praxis' ship, and they have to because Praxis actually, when they get back on board, he presses the what's it called? Not the self-destruct. He just causes to nosedive for some reason. Praxis retreats. Now, there is a hint that he'll be back in issue 7, if I remember correctly. Yeah, issue 7. Praxis flees. Now, the ship is no-diving into Earth. Miraculously, the ship crashes somewhere on Earth where there's no people. They don't explain this at all. That's one of the weaknesses of this book. They don't explain how come it didn't kill anybody on Earth. But it does. But it's not really a great ending, in my opinion. But it just shows how they all work together. How they all came together, because they were arguing all throughout the book. So issue 6 is just them working better as a team. It's like minor missions in the last comic in this volume 1. The last issue is practically just minor little missions, and then them in a parade. So this whole book, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. It wasn't very satisfying, but it was just an introduction. It canceled at issue 12, but we gotta wait for volume 2. Volume 2, I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's kind of sad. Art was a little simple. Not enough detail was given, especially for Batman. You can tell from the cover, he's very simple design. Batman's not used at full potential. I think they used it to highlight the other characters in this book, because the other characters, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 new characters in this book. I think that's another weakness, because you have to highlight Guy Gardner, Batman, Booster Gold. Meanwhile, you have to bring in 6 new characters. So it was a little hard to balance all that in the book. There's 2 characters in this book, Rocket Red and General Augustus. They could have their own series, if you ask me. They really had good chemistry in the book. You laughed at every single one of their jokes, and they really have interesting characters. Now, I'll be really interested if they put them in if they put those 2 guys in a comic by themselves. I would pick the volume up. I'm not a guy for single issues. I would buy the full volumes, Praxis could have continued the fight. He just retreated, because it's supposedly, they don't really show you that he was getting beat up, but all of a sudden he just decides to retreat. So it's a little non-explaining. So basically, that was my review. 3.5 out of 5. Solid book, but there are weaknesses, and the art is a little simple. So, thanks for watching. If you like this review, tell me in the comments below, and I'll do more. I have more volume 1s of DC reboots. I have Suicide Squad, Men of War, and Deathstroke. So thanks for watching. This has been WestRoadSal. Rate, comment, subscribe. Peace.